Harry's Wife, Part 103.7. I'm with a prince. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I continue to explain narcissism in its various forms, utilizing the prominent example of Harry's wife. This time I turn to Insider. As always, I leave it for you to determine the veracity of the material. I merely provide you, of course, with the analysis. The article by Pauline Villegas tells us Harry's wife stood by while her handler demanded a private table at a restaurant because she was dating a prince, a new book claims. Former maitre d' Michael Azalina claims that Harry's wife's handler demanded a private table in 2017 at the Michelin-starred restaurant Le Coucou in New York City. How apt for Harry's wife to be going to something called Cuckoo. I know it's spelt differently, but it still makes the point. The Daily Mail obtained a copy of his upcoming memoir, Your Table is Ready, Tales of a New York City Maitre d', where Azalina details the alleged encounter with Harry's wife and a staffer. The former maitre d' alleged Harry's wife and her handler arrived for the reservation 20 minutes early and immediately requested special treatment. Now, ordinarily turning up early isn't going to be a problem, but of course, if you've a reservation at a particular time, other people are already eating, the table might not quite be ready, so you'd have to wait. And the fact, of course, that Harry's wife turns up and special treatment is being demanded is representative of that sense of entitlement and absence of emotional empathy. Now, whilst it references, of course, that the handler demanded the private table, that handler is only going to do it based upon the instruction that's been received from Harry's wife. And as we all know, Harry's wife thinks she's more important than everybody else on this planet. According to Azalina, Harry's wife stood by silently while her handler demanded a private table. Therefore, one would suggest that her silence provides consent, claiming it was for someone who is dating a prince. At the time, Harry's wife was dating Prince Harry, who she would go on to marry a year later. One would have thought, of course, that Harry's wife, as a strong, independent, empowered feminist, would be able to secure an excellent seat and reservation without relying on the man that she's dating. Or not. Once again, the hypocrisy of this woman is writ large, that she goes around telling everybody that she is able to achieve things herself, that she is the one that is able to do all of these things, and that she's forged this path alone. Yet time and time and time again, we see that can be filed under B for bullshit. Why? She relied upon her father to pay her through school, university. She relied upon her father to ensure that she obtained acting gigs. She relied upon Trevor Engelson to provide her with opportunities within the film and television industry. And then, of course, along came old Ginger Bollocks. And, utilising him, she suddenly became heard of by many people, because prior to that, nobody knew who she was. Through him, that's why I call her Harry's wife, because that's the only reason people know about her, she gets access to fame, networks, money, entrance into the royal family. Yet she would have you believe that she's managed to achieve all of this herself. Her level of delusion is such that it was her, of course, that caused Procter & Gamble to change their advertising campaign, and nothing to do with the fact that it was a concerted effort of her class. That she believes that she is the person that achieves everything on her own. And yet here we have another example of, through her handler, she is seeking to assert control and gain a residual benefit, preferential treatment, by not saying, hello, I'm Harry's wife, or rather, I am, using her own name. You may know me. I'm a strong, independent, empowered feminist. May I have a really good table? Oh no, her narcissism knows that's not going to work, and instead it is the equivalent of, do you know who I am, but slightly different. Do you know who I'm dating? And once again, she acquires the character trait, i.e. the status of the man that she's dating, to assert control over somebody else to gain a residual benefit. So much so for her standing on her own 2 feet. It's no surprise, though, we all know she's a hypocrite. Are you aware my guest is dating Prince Harry and about to be a duchess? Chechi Azalina wrote in reference to the unnamed staffer. Don't you have a private area for us to wait? Chechi Azalina, who worked at Le Coucou for 2.5 years, recalled telling them he didn't have a private table available. Challenge Fuel. In his book, Chechi Azalina details his reaction to the request. My first impulse was to laugh. I could give two shits about Prince Harry's date, and by the attention the escort was drawing from the crowd at the bar, nor did anyone else, he writes. While the handler spoke to Chechi Azalina, he wrote that Harry's wife didn't say a word and described the Duchess of Sussex as aloof. Even at this stage, she's too important to speak to the little people. She has somebody to speak on her behalf. After all, she's Queen Harry's wife, Empress of Woke, overseer of all that she surveys, and that you shall only speak to her should she deign to come down from her elevated position to talk to you, the great unwashed and the little person. Representatives, the article tells us, for Harry's wife did not immediately respond to insiders' request for comment. According to his memoir, Harry's wife wasn't the only celebrity that left a bad taste in Chechi Azalina's mouth. He includes alleged interactions with Vogue editor Anna Wintour and supermodel Naomi Campbell, citing their behaviour as absolutely horrid and rude respectively. The memoir's release comes days after the ongoing feud between late-night host James Corden, arsehole, and Balthazar owner Keith McNally. McNally took to Instagram Tuesday to claim that Corden, arsehole, was abusive to his servers and was banned from dining at his restaurant as a result. Since then, the two have exchanged apologies and backtracked. Corden, arsehole, and McNally still appear to be on bad terms after Corden, arsehole, told the New York Times, I haven't done anything wrong. In an interview on Thursday, see parts pass him for further analysis about that. It's no surprise that Harry's wife would swan into a restaurant having a lackey make a song and dance about having a private table and a private waiting area. Because of her grandiosity, her overinflated sense of importance, and, of course, this is demonstrative of the way by proxy she would deal with people. It didn't get her anywhere there, and once again, of course, shows the mid-range collateral consequence, that her behaviours that took place back in 2017 are then spoken about at a later date and don't do her any favours whatsoever. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.